I'll now be reading the first couple pages of a book that I just got. It's called Is A Racket by General Butler, the anti-war classic by America's most decorated general. He died in 1940. I could tell you many fascinating things about this man, but first let me read you the first page here of this book that I'm going to go over, this brief booklet. Chapter 1, War is a Racket. War is a racket, it has always been. It is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. A racket is best described, I believe, as something that is not what it seems to be the majority of the people. Only a small inside group knows what it is about. It is conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the very many. Out of war, a few people make huge fortunes. In World War I, a mere handful garner the profits of the conflict. At least 21,000 new millionaires and billionaires were made in the United States during the World War. That many admitted that their huge blood gains in their income tax returns. How many other war millionaires falsified their tax returns? No one knows. How many of these war millionaires shouldered a rifle? How many of them dug a trench? How many of them knew what it meant to go hungry in a rat-infested dugout? How many of them spent sleepless, frightened nights ducking shells and shrapnel and machine gun bullets? How many of them parried a bayonet thrust of an enemy? How many of them were wounded or killed in battle? Out of war, nations acquire additional territory if they are victorious. They just take it. This newly acquired territory promptly is exploited by the few, and the self-same few who wrung dollars out of blood in the war. The general public shoulders the bill. What is this bill? This bill renders a horrible accounting. Newly placed gravestones, mangled bodies, shattered minds, broken hearts and homes, economic instability, depression, and all attendant miseries, backbreaking taxations for generations and generations. For a great many years as a soldier, I had a suspicion that war was a racket. Not until I retired to civil life did I fully realize it. Now that I see the international war clouds gathering as they are today, I must face it and speak out. Again, they are choosing sides. France and Russia met and agreed to stand side by side. Italy and Austria hurried to make a similar agreement. Poland and Germany cast sheep's eyes at each other, forgetting for the nonce, one unique occasion, their dispute over the Polish corridor. The assassination of King Alexander of Yugoslavia complicated matters. Yugoslavia and Hungary, long bitter enemies, were almost at each other's throats. Italy was ready to jump in, but France was waiting. So was Czechoslovakia. All of them were looking ahead to war, not the people, not those who fight and pay and die, and those who meant wars and remain safely at home to profit. There are 40 million men under arms in the world today, and our statesmen and diplomats have the temerity to say that war is not in the making. Hell's bells! Are these 40 million men being trained to be dancers? Not in Italy, to be sure. Premier Mussolini knows what they are being trained for. He, at least, is frank enough to speak out. Only the other day, Il Duce in International Conciliation, the publication of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace said, and above all, fascism, the more it considers and observes the future and the development of humanity, quite apart from political considerations of the moment, believes neither in the possibility nor the utility of perpetual peace. War alone brings up to its highest tension all human energy and puts the stamp of nobility upon the people who have the courage to meet it. Okay, so that's the first couple pages of the book here, which you can see. That is the general. In 1933, he prevented the fascist coup against FDR. Now, I'm not saying FDR was a perfect president, but a lot of people don't know this part of the history, that General Butler was offered the co-presidency, and he exposed him in Congress. Prescott Bush, grandfather of the last president, Senator Prescott Bush, financed by the Nazis, J.P. Morgan, Chase Manhattan Banks, etc. They were all part of the coup attempt, and they all got away with it. But thanks to the intervention of this great American patriot, it's not taught in your history books, FDR wasn't overthrown, and this country did intervene in World War II against the fascists. But again, just like in World War II, rackets are involved. Wall Street coup was another way that fascist coup was called. Wall Street was aligned with the fascists at that time. They were aligned with Franco in Spain during the Civil War. George Orwell, another one of the great authors of our times, wrote Homage to Catalonia during the Spanish Civil War. Britain was neutral, but he went with the international brigades to fight against the fascists. So this is a part of our history, of world history, that should be known, friends and comrades. Thank you for listening.